to get a good deal is tough. But we're still riding the crest of this wave of house price inflation,
Yes.
and there's a little bit of anxiety, of course, amongst all of us what might happen there. But I'm down to something like 50% loan to value on this property now, so there's a big margin there, or I will be when it's finished. There's a big margin there if prices do drop. And that's one of the risks we take, that people forget, of course, when they think we just sit at home counting money. Actually, there's a lot of risk in this.
No, it is. It's fundamentally.
Richard, we're downstairs here in the rear kitchen to the property. Described earlier the fact that you had some issues in the initial purchasing and also issues with the neighbour. Can you just tell us a little bit more about what we have behind us here?
Yes, what we've got here is where the chimney breast was. So this was removed by the previous owner, but they didn't have a party wall agreement. The other neighbour, of course, got aggrieved by that and was upset by it. And there were also some sound issues when the chimney breast was removed, and there was a dispute between the two neighbours.
Right.
And there continued to be sound issues, so the neighbour next door said that she could hear more noise than she used to be able to. So the way I've resolved this is I've put soundproofing on this wall and also on the wall upstairs, and the neighbour's happy with that, and he's very pleased that we've done it.
Right, so the wall upstairs being directly above where we are, is one of the main bedrooms.
That's right, yeah.
And therefore there was the chimney breast, which obviously ran.
The chimney breast went all the way up. So now upstairs it was fine because it was just a clear wall, whereas on this wall we had all of the kitchen units. And in fact the idea was to keep the kitchen here because it's in reasonably good condition. So we've had to remove the kitchen units, and then we'll be putting them back again. It did make me think, oh gosh, should I be putting a brand new kitchen in? But that would have then been an extra kind of 2,500, which frankly I don't need to spend because the existing kitchen was fine. And
the sort of technicalities of the soundproofing, what boarding we used? Or?
Yes, quite a lot of research there. We've used a 53mm board, which is a compacted mineral wall, and then acoustic plasterboard on top of that. So quite hard to source. I mean, I got it from a soundproofing specialist in the end. My builder's adamant that he could have just got the same material from his builder's yard at a much lower price. So, it's frustrating with this, especially when you're doing something for the first time.
Yes.
It was quite pricey, but anyway, it looked good quality. And
it's future-proofed in terms of it's been done to a good specification.
Yes, we lose like 2 inches of the room space. That's part of the problem. But what I didn't want was to move tenants in and then for the neighbour next door to be unhappy with the noise level and so on. So
potentially much more costly exercise to Great. Well, that sounds as if a solution, and I'm assuming no issues now with the neighbour now.
No, I mean we've been getting on very well with the neighbour. She's we have a bit of a laugh, me, the builder, and her, and so on. So it was a good kind of rapport between us, and she still agreed with the previous owner because some of the works affected her hearing, and so which I feel very sad for her about the whole situation, and I wish they'd managed to sort it out. But it just shows you really it's so important to talk to your neighbour when you're doing things like moving the chimney breast.
Yes, and anything structural, basement dig outs, lofts, anything where you're going to create, it really does.
You've got to take the neighbours with you, and you can't move a house; it's always going to be here. So, I had. Similarly with the fence, I border onto 3 gardens, so I had to liaise with all 3 neighbours about the fences, but it's important to get it right.
Well, at the end of the day, you're improving the external for everyone.
Yes, and 2 of the neighbours contributed towards the fence, so that was great.
Good, excellent.